And we are live. What are we calling this day, Mr. Shivar?
Isak Day. It's
Freedom
Isak.
Day.
It's got
Freedom Day.
alliterated. Freedom Day.
Freedom
What the
Day.
fuck? I think we need to stop this narrative of freeing players from their own contracts that they
We're not
sign.
live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're not live on
Not live.
YouTube. Okay, no, we are live.
Okay, okay. We are
We are
live.
live.
We are live. Hey,
Now
hey,
we're
hey.
live.
Don't scare me like that. I think we need
Welcome
to
to
stop
the
this.
Isak Day special, everybody.
We
It's
need to
Freedom
stop
Day.
this hold on, guys. We need to stop this narrative of, that's why I've got a pen in my hand, of perpetuating the stereotype that we need to free players from their own contracts that they signed on out of their free will. No one like literally forced them, except if you are, who's that guy from Forest, who I
Yeah,
think,
that guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, Gibbs
Look,
White.
Let's leave it.
obviously the free Isak thing is a bit of a meme, right? Nobody actually thinks we are free or have freed him. The answer is fairly simple, I think. If you want to be free from your contract,
Hmm.
negotiate a release clause.
It's that simple. Like,
It's really that simple.
gone are the days where you freaking Harry Kane and you get your brother to negotiate your deal. I
Hmm.
think people should have learned from that. You get a proper agent who's going to say, "Tell you what, I'm an asset to the team. I'll get to you now, Trish. I'm an asset to the team, okay? But should a better team come along and they offer you, let's not have this up in the air that a substantial amount. Let's have the amount saying,
Yep.
is it 30 mil? Is it 40 mil? Is it 50 mil? Release clause saves us from all of this
You
garbage.
can you
Yes.
can even so in Spain it is mandatory to have a release clause, right? So that's how they try to cook the system by saying, no, it's not a release clause, it's a buyout clause, which means if you trigger the release clause, me as
That's
the
it.
selling
Yeah.
club, I can say, no, I want the money up front. I don't want this over 5 years nonsense. I want it up front and I want it immediately, which means that the club that's buying will then have to go and take a loan to pay the money up front and repay the loan, which means you're actually paying more than what the release clause is. But because it's not mandatory in England, you can say, listen, I want to go for 100 bar and it should be 20 bar over 5 years. That should be the
Mm.
terms of the release clause.
But wasn't there that whole beef with the Spurs where I think there was an argument around how did Spurs find out what the release clause was? I think there's some legitimacy there in that only the club can tell you what the release clause. The player can't tell you what the release clause is. That's
No,
my
so
understanding. I could be
it's
wrong,
the
but
players it's the
is a legal
players
head
release
here.
clause. So it's the players release clause, right? Um, Essentially, it's not Tottenham that would pay the club. It's the player that would pay the club to say, I am buying myself out of my contract. So the player does know what his
Independently
release
done, yeah.
clause is. How Tottenham
Yeah,
knows, maybe they were trying to say they tapped him up. I don't know.
Hmm. Joshua, go for it, bud.
So the reason I said it's Freedom Day is nothing to do with free Isaac or anything. It's because Manchester United Football Club are now free of Andre Onana as our goalkeeper. So
Are you
I am
serious?
celebrating today because we have signed Lemons, so that means we don't have that donkey in net anymore. Yeah, so all around a very good day. Disappointed that FFP or any of these other people didn't put a stop to Liverpool's oil money that was being spent this summer. So, yeah,
You
very
mean money that
disappointed.
we have generated from within our club?
Coutinho money, yes, we
Yeah, the
know.
Coutinho money, all the inter. You see, in 2018 or 2017, when they sold Coutinho, they put all the money in Bitcoin. So
Yes,
yeah,
that's exactly what
unfortunately,
we did.
they
That's
they took
exactly what we did.
everything out.
And
So
Now,
and you sacking your tea lady got you 200 million to buy players, right?
yeah, that tea lady
Yeah,
was on bars,
yeah,
boss.
yeah.
She was
Agreed.
earning too much money.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
look,
Tea lady. I
we've
want
sold
like
pretty well. We've sold
odds.
pretty
How
well.
much are you
Now,
paying your tea lady?
huh?
I don't
How
know,
much
dude.
is
I
odds
don't know if
paying
they
his
have.
tea lady
We don't know what the tea lady earns that side, bruh. We are the richest club, so we can't spend it on players, but we can spend it
on the
on
tea
our
lady?
Yeah,
facilities
correct.
and the
Yeah.
tea ladies, etc. So we are taking care of everyone in the back room. It's on the playing staff that we are still constrained by the rules that you guys put in when we got bought out.
I'm trying to open
I have a
something
view
here, and
on.
my machine is
I have
like
a view on
here.
that, but I'd like to get to it later once Trishul is done with his point.
Yeah, look, I'm very disappointed that we didn't end up signing a midfielder because I feel like of recent, obviously the goalkeeping thing was so important to be solved. But I know we did ask about conditions for a Conor Gallagher loan, but nothing came of it. They wanted it
Good
to
Oh,
evening,
be
chaps.
permanent.
Good
hello
evening,
there.
man.
We are live there, gentlemen.
Ah, wonderful. Sorry for the delay, lads. I had what do you call it? Gremlins.
No
Sorry,
worries,
Thrush
no
was just
worries.
speaking
Sorry,
there.
I'm struggling sharing my screen for some odd reason. I don't know. But anyway, I think we can just to maintain some
I want to
order
ask a
in this
question
house.
on that
Because
point.
hold on, before we ask questions, just to maintain some order in this house, because we've got a full house. I actually didn't even introduce everybody. To the left or to the right here, we've got Mr. VAR himself. To the far right, we've got Mr. Who is not hurt by Isak moving to Liverpool, but he is crying. And at the bottom here, we've got Mr. I'm celebrating Onana, but deep down, I know I'm in trouble. And right at the end, Mr. Newcastle himself. I think I'm going to move him around. So there we go. That's perfect. We separate the Newcastle boys. Gentlemen, I think we can get started.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Order of
Let's.
business. Order of business. Firstly, we will speak about the current champions, that's Liverpool. Secondly, we'll then speak about Arsenal. I don't know if you guys got that reference, but let's start the show.
Second, yes.
Do you want to go
So
for
I
it,
actually want to ask this
Shiva?
as a question. Uh,
I want to hear the question.
Great, because he just referenced it. Like, is that United midfield that much of a problem? Number one, and number two, isn't maybe keeping Kobe Mainu also that back the player, and you maybe then don't need to have like major signings if you're at least not losing a kid like Kobe Mainu.
So I think Arts, it's fairly simple to like sort of understand what we're doing in that. I think it's very obvious that Bruno's going to leave at the end of the season, and then Mainu would end up being first choice. But I think us getting in someone who is a CDM, but someone who has legs would have been very, very important because Casemiro hasn't been bad, but he doesn't have the legs. He has the IQ. His passing range is still top quality. But when you don't have the legs to cover the space that Bruno is going to leave in behind, it is a bit of a problem. Now with Kobe did pretty well when he came on against Burnley, but the thing that I'm always going to argue is like if you're not going to start Sesko, then just play Bruno at 10 and then play Kobe next to Casemiro in midfield. Like there's absolutely no reason to play
Yeah.
Mount. There's literally no reason to play Mount. He's just a shin kicker. That's all he is. Like I mean, he hasn't been bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, like why play Mount at 10 when he offers nothing? When you can play Bruno in his best
Yeah.
position and then play Kobe next to Casemiro, so we
True
have a
story.
clear lockdown in midfield.
And
Yeah.
you don't have to then
So I
shift
think
Bruno
that's
as the
something
game goes on.
that's exactly. And when Bruno plays in this position, don't get me wrong, I saw a stat today that I know it's only been 3 games, but he's already created the most chances and won the ball back the most
Mm-mm.
times. Now, like while he is very good at that, you still want your best player to be played in his best position.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years, 4 years since Bruno has been out and out number 10 for United. When you actually deep it here, he's been played in so many different positions. And it's like at this point,
Yeah.
his prime was wasted.
Mm.
But I mean, look, I don't know. I don't understand the fascination with Mount. I mean, if you want someone to cover ground in midfield, then won't you rather just play Mount next to Casemiro so he can cover the ground
I,
and
I
play
can
Bruno
That's
at
what I
10?
understand
was
the
thinking.
fascination. Yeah, I can understand the
Mm,
fascination with Mount. It's that Conor Gallagher issue that Chelsea had, where the English are saying he's got energy. Fucking energy does nothing.
yeah.
If he's playing that
Yeah.
creative role. You playing a creative role, you need to be creative and not just have energy. Sorry. Anyway, let's go back.
Energy
I've
is
been singing the
important.
same song for
Energy is
years,
important, but
guys.
it's not.
Same song for
You cannot
years.
have energy on its own. You need to back it up with
Hmm.
technical ability as well.
Mhm.
Very, very true.
Same song for years. If all you can say about a player is that they work hard, then they're not a good player. They're not a good player. There needs to be some sort of technical aspect to their game, some sort of creativity. Mount runs, he presses. Yeah,
Hey, guys,
that's all he's been
I
doing. And
think
the
you're
thing
being
is, I've
very
noticed
unfair there,
we're not
Flick.
even playing him as a 10. He's been the false nine, which doesn't even make any sense because he drops way too deep, and it's not even like his dropping causes the opposition center backs or CDMs to pull out so that Cunha and Mbemo
Yeah.
can go in behind.
Mm.
So it's not even like it's not even working. But look, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. We're still above City, so
That's a
game's
You
win.
know,
game.
Okay,
Trish,
I think
I gotta give. Can I just jump in here, Sitley?
go for it, man.
I gotta. We
Go.
discussed Amarin's tactics and his setup of teams and the approach that Man United takes. We spoke about this at length last week. And I gotta say, the team we saw against Burnley is night and day. Not just from the Grimsby fixture, from anything that Amarin has done in the last 9 months. If
Mhm.
if you closed your eyes or if you had not watched Man United for the last year and you saw only that game against Burnley, you would think you guys were coached by Eddie Howe or Jurgen Klopp
Mhm.
because they came out
Mhm.
flying. You played Burnley off the park for the first 40 minutes.
Mhm.
But
If
a
our
soccer match
strikers
isn't
and
40
attackers
minutes,
could
though, guys. Come
score,
on.
it would have been a much more comfortable result. Way more comfortable result. But I mean, then again, I'm asking you spend 64 million on a striker and he's benched.
That's a conundrum that no one can understand.
That's
I mean, everyone's
ridiculous.
asking the same
Yeah,
thing. Like,
maybe
that's
he's
not
not
baffling.
ready,
I
but
think
I don't know.
Amarim
I
did
feel like
answer
if
that
you want a
question though,
striker to
and I
score,
liked his answer. He said the guy's just moved. He's moved countries. He hasn't had a preseason. Essentially, what he's saying is give the kid a chance. And I'm with you. I completely understand. Give the kid a chance. And I think his plan was to bring him off the bench for the first two league games, and then start him in the cup game. It's just that that cup game went so terribly wrong for everyone. He
That
now
didn't have a
doesn't
Mm.
want
choice.
to rock the boat too much in the
Mm.
league. So he wants to stick to his guns. My question is, it's fine for now, but how long do you keep him on the bench?
yeah, I don't think we can keep him for much longer because I think, okay, when you look at it and you're a manager, right? Okay, with all due respect to Burnley, they are a Premier League club, but you're playing Burnley at home. You play your relatively young, expensive striker, let him score a
Mm.
goal. It's
Mm.
Burnley.
Yes.
It's not like you're starting him away to City, Chelsea,
Mm.
Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Villa,
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Newcastle. You
The
know,
only thing I can think
you
of is there's got to be some kind of specific runs or hold up play that he wants from Sesko, and maybe he's still working on him in terms of video footage or some analysis to get his positioning right. But if Sesko
while I get
starts,
that, it's just
if we
like
come back
who's
from
the alternative? You're playing Mount. Mount is the alternative. So I'm like, just play Sesko.
if we come back from
That
the
just play
international
Sesko
break and
because
Sesko
Mount
is
is not
still on the
doing it.
bench, then you know there's a problem.
I think
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I didn't like it was when the substitution happened and he brought on Xerxes and
Yes,
not
Mm,
Cisco. That's where I
yes.
look at it a little bit
That's why I can
funny.
only think there's got to be an understanding of the role that is. Well,
Mm,
maybe he's still taking him through the flip file. I mean, we
mm.
saw him ordering Chinese takeout against Grimsby, so
Playing with these
maybe he's
Pokemon
busy.
cards.
Maybe he's busy there with the pictures.
You these Pokemon.
and I'm gonna say it now. I don't think Sesko is the right type of striker for us. I mean, look, he's still young enough and he has a talent to develop into the kind of striker that any team could
Yeah.
have. But I mean, we needed someone who can link, can hold up, can get involved. And like when I watched that Grimsby game, like yes, it was a game and a half, but like I mean, it seemed like he wasn't a part of it.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
there was like no connection between the midfield and him. And okay, you can say okay, but it was because Bruno was on the bench, but then Bruno had the whole second half. And like I don't know. Look, he didn't have the preseason he could have had if we signed him earlier. Give it time. But now the question is, look at our next fixtures. You know, you should have played him from the start against Burnley to get a goal, get confidence. Our next fixtures are what? It's City,
That's
Chelsea.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah.
I think there's Chelsea in there. There's no Europa League in between to go and
There's
play
no Carabao Cup
Kazakhstan and
as
get
well.
a scrappy 2 goals like what Mediocre has got last week. So I don't see any reason for us. I mean,
I
look
think
at this. Look at this.
yeah,
Like I don't see where we can throw him in and be like, right, go get a goal. I really don't.
I
I
think
think I think
from
the
my side,
alternative. Yes.
yeah, yeah. You raise a valid point there, Trisha, where you brought it back from start your home. Get the boy to have a feel of what it feels like to start for your home team. What's the worst that could happen?
Hmm.
Like it goes belly up in the first 45. And you sub him and then you put in Cunha that fucks with his confidence. But
Yeah,
at least give him that chance for him to come
Yeah.
in because
Give him the
it's a
chance. You
force.
got the home fans there. They're going to sing your name. Score a goal, even if it's a scrappy goal,
exactly.
even if it hits you and goes in.
If it
A strike, confidence is a hell of a
thank
Just
drug,
get your
guys.
you.
first one.
Confidence is a hell of a drug, especially for a
Because
striker.
now,
Especially for a striker.
what I'm looking at now is the games that your manager has, and unfortunately, he cannot try out a striker with these coming games, especially this one here on the 19th, because this is going to
Hmm.
pain. This one here, I get City. City, you always, for some odd reason, you like Spurs. You always have their number. I don't know how. This one, I'm not going to comment because I've got a vested interest. Brentford,
Mhm.
they've been gutted, so that should easy.
Yeah.
Sunderland might surprise you. And based on what happens,
Yeah, I know.
Sunderland,
I'm not looking at Sunderland as a
yeah,
pushover. They made some good signings today
very,
as
very
well.
true.
Yeah, Geertruida
So
from Netherlands.
Sunderland
I
and
think
and
they
and
they're not
and
a pushover.
yeah, those teams, these teams might make or break the manager's current position.
Hmm.
You guys,
But there's
United.
another question. Oh, sorry.
No, go. Yeah, go for it. Go
Yeah,
on.
and this question comes off the back where I think Tatupi is asking, was Sesko a
No,
purchase?
it was a team. It was a team. It was
Okay, cool. So
Vivelli. Vivelli wanted
now
Sheshko.
it makes sense. In that, how much was he?
70 odd
64.
or 61.
70, call it 70.
Offer
Newcastle
Okay,
and
offered
seventy
Nantes.
odd,
80.
Yeah.
That was
and he still
euros.
said
So you
no.
guys
You
offered
guys were
like 80 something euros, and United went in with like 70 something, and he said, "No, I want United."
Hmm.
got it.
Look, the
So
thing is, and I'm gonna be running the agenda against him for the rest of the season because he chose Arsenal over us. Arsenal wanted Sheshko and we wanted
Djokovic.
Gyökeres. But then, for whatever reason, Leipzig just kept on dragging in their heels for Sheshko, and then they went for Gyökeres. And then I mean, like we've discussed this, like who are the strikers? Newcastle spent what 75 on Voltermade.
Unknown.
that
Voldemort.
he's not tall, he's long.
Voldo, yeah, like I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but like we didn't talk
You
about this
don't
guy
know
6 months
it.
ago.
I
Mm.
didn't know him. Three
And
days ago,
75,
I had no idea the
ah,
sock exists.
exactly. And 75 million, like Newcastle just bought Vissa for 55 million. He's 29. He got a year left on his
Yeah, they got
contract.
fleeced
And
there.
it's like,
It's a panic buy, and no one really wants to
yeah, it
admit.
is.
But
Yeah.
it's these
No,
two
I
guys
think,
are
guys, I
panic
think
buyers.
Wissa's a good player. Like,
He is,
I
but it's not
I
worth
think he's
genuinely
a
think
good
it.
player,
Wissa's
but
going to
I
do
think
19,
well
he's
in
a
that
panic
team.
buyer.
19 Premier League goals. If he gives us 15 Premier League goals,
19 non-penalty Premier League goals.
Mm.
yes.
That's
So
very
19
important.
He's just
Premier
gonna
League
do what he's
goals.
just gonna do what he does anyway. Versus
Hmm.
just gonna do what he does. We're not asking him to do anything different.
Yeah,
And I
I
and
think
Exactly,
I'm
that's a
yeah.
glad
very
that
good signing.
and I'm glad that we've bought.
I think it's an excellent signing, but when you look at the money spent, look at it this way: they bought Ilanga and Vissa for the near enough what they sold Isaac
No,
for.
so it's Voldemort and Wissa basically equal what they sold Isak for.
But we never
You're
needed the Isak money.
not gonna
But
replace
but
those
that's look,
25 goals,
I can't
guys.
say
Can't
I've
replace
watched
his son.
Voldemort. I can't. Nobody in here can say
Nah,
that they watched
Yeah,
him.
look,
Like
No.
some
none
goal
of us
scorer at
can.
the under
He
21
can he
euros.
can be like Ricky Van Wolfswinkel, score on his debut, and then for the rest of the season he does nothing. Or he can go in and just look. From what I know, he's a 6'6" technical monster. But this is the Premier League. You can be 5'7" like Wirtz and be a technical monster and
Trishul,
play
was
like
it
God.
you who sent
You can't.
the video link? I think it was like a 4 minute a breakdown of him as a player and whatnot. The one thing that I saw is
I
that
don't think it was me.
long as he is, he's not dangly because there's like the thing with long ass
Yeah,
players. They
He's
like,
not he's not a Peter
oh
Crouch.
yeah.
yeah, he
So
isn't.
he looks like he's balanced. So I think the verdict is out, and I'm
He's
not gonna lie.
literally as tall.
How do you play them both, though? I don't see how Newcastle plays because y'all don't play a 4-4-2.
No, but I
Yeah,
think
look, I mean,
Eddie's been trying to change it. Eddie wants, so we know that his traditional approach is a 4-3-3. But
Hmm.
I think Eddie's trying to have the tools available for a 4-4-2 or a two holding midfield and a number 10, so that we've got some variation for Europe and we've got some variation for teams that'll play a low block against us.
I
mm,
think
And
the
I
one
think
thing
that's
that I don't know if
yeah,
you're
he's
segueing
equipped the
to
team.
Newcastle.
so
The
so
the
uh,
cons
so I think even so sorry to interrupt you. I think even what AJ has just said there is let me have the tools with Isak and with Eketike. There's tools that you can shift it a little bit. We're still
That's
trying
it.
to figure out where United's tools are. Like how
They're all
do
over the pitch. What are you on about?
no, but how do but right
Oh, they
now
played
we
well
have
against
kind
Burnley.
of spoken,
They-
but we've spoken about there's different formations uh right now that a Newcastle can have. We've said, do Ekitike and Isak play in the same team? Well, there will probably be a way that they will find it. Chelsea still have 40 players, so
no,
they can
don't do that.
always
Don't
just
do that.
change.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Chelsea have
Okay,
actually
yeah,
turned a profit this season. But
Don't do
I
that.
wanted to
okay.
make a point
Jackson
earlier.
just left, but I
United
mean,
have the
where's
ability.
United's variation?
Sorry. What I'm trying to say is United have the ability now to do the funniest thing that could actually shake up this league. But I don't think the owners actually have the
In a
balls
game.
to do it. There's some.
Wait, which United? Because there's only one club we
Yes, there's
Yeah,
follow.
only
yeah,
one
that's
United.
United. That's United.
There's
That's
only one
United. They're,
United.
When
they're
it's
very
West Ham United,
glad that
Newcastle
you are the
United.
United, by the way. But anyway, what the, there's some, I want to call it unhappiness with Glasner over this whole Guehi deal, which is still not complete, by the way. And there's like 4 more
Yeah,
minutes to get it done. Um,
Fax machine better
it
be working.
looks like Glasner is trying to convince Guehi to stay. What I'm saying is, if Guehi does end up leaving, Glasner is going to be a very pissed off individual, and
Oh,
United have the
Yeah.
opportunity to sack their manager and go and get one of the big ones, and that will properly shake things up
well,
because then Palace have
his old
lost
job is available. If by the way,
who Wolfsburg.
that's not his old job.
Wolfsburg. Didn't he come from
Uh,
Wolfsburg?
no, from Leverkusen. Leverkusen.
Leverkusen,
Did he
and
come
they've
from
just
Leverkusen?
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they fired
Glasner is
Moldy
from
there.
Frankfurt. Who are you talking about?
Frankfurt.
So basically,
You won the
I'm
Europa
basically
Cup with him.
Hmm.
I want to finish off with United quickly because we've spent 20 something minutes on United
No,
unnecessarily
no.
so.
I've got a question for when you're done, Ots. I've got a question.
Yeah, I I think those fixtures, right? If you are a true United fan, if you are in a true rebuild that they are in right now,
Yeah.
coach and all the players, you throw everything at the everything in the kitchen sink, however the phrase goes. You say Cunha and Bemu and Cisco, whoever scores scores. You're not
You open
expected to
yourself
win
up.
those games. You're not expected to win those games. Those teams right now are
Talk
probably
about Manchester
superior to
United,
United.
bro. You're expected to win every game, every week,
Mm.
every day
See,
at
Ots,
Manchester
you're
That's
United.
looking at
okay.
this from
Maybe, maybe.
a
Okay,
logical
okay.
standpoint. United fans are not logical. United fans, they want to be and they should be one
It
of the
should
best
be.
4 teams in the country. I'm not even going to say the top 6. They should be one of the best 4 teams in the country. Some fans
Facts.
haven't made their peace with the fact that they're a mid-table team now. And
Yeah.
the only way for them to stop being a mid-table team is to accept that they're a mid-table team and grow their team as if they're a mid-table team trying to go back, basically do what you guys are doing, trying to
Yes,
get in, not just pretending like you're still there. And they're going
yes.
to go out and they're going to try to win those games and they're going to get, well, they'll probably beat City, but they're going to lose at the Bridge. They're going to lose at Anfield. That's just what happens. They might get
I
a
think the tricky
draw
part,
in either
yeah,
one of those games, but they're going to get outplayed.
the tricky part
That's
to Otz's solution. Sorry, AJ, you'll go right after me. The tricky part with that solution is that you can send out predators and say, yo guys, I want you to go all out as long as you know that your defense is solid. Okay. And
Mm.
for some odd reason, everyone seems to think defense starts with your fucking right at the back. It doesn't. It starts in the middle. Because if your team is able to be bypassed from the middle, you are properly fucked. Makelele
Mhm.
he was the invisible wall where he protected John Terry to the point where it made his life a lot easy. And that you've got this invisible wall in front of you where he breaks play and I don't unfortunately see that with Man United. And if
Same.
they go gong ho whatever, they're gonna open themselves up. You're going to end up at 7-0 in the first 45 minutes. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
then it's going to be you managing desire. Yeah, you just met AJ.
Just
Go for
saying,
it.
play the
I
three
don't.
of
I
them
don't
up
see.
front
I don't see
together.
it happening.
That's all I'm saying. Play your
Guys,
three guys
I
together.
wanna talk about the flip flopping of Amarin, and I just want to put it out there and ask you guys, how much patience do you think the fan base has got for Amarin when he comes out with things like sometimes I hate my players, sometimes I hate my kids, sometimes I want to quit, and then the next day I wake up and I don't want to quit. So I'm Kobe Mainu, and I'm looking at this guy every day, and I'm like, bro. Why would I put my career in your hands?
I think it's
You're
as
literally telling me you could walk out at any
yeah
time. So
as
I don't blame
the
Garnacho.
last.
I don't blame Sancho. I don't blame Rashford. I don't blame Anthony.
No,
Who am
I
I?
blame Sancho and Rashford and Anthony. I'll blame them. I'll blame them because they didn't just do this to Amarim. They did this to Ten Hag. I
But you
don't.
get my point. You get my point, and that's what I want to know. What do you guys think about
I
that?
just
What kind of manager
I'll try
speaks
and be
like that?
brief. Ten Hag had the same problem where they don't have an understanding of the English media and what it
Mhm.
represents. So whatever you say, be it a snippet, be it like a one-liner, I want to kill myself, I want this and that, it can get taken out of context. So someone at Man United needs either to take these, well, Ten Hag is gone, but like he's fired again, they need to take them and have an understanding to say as minimal as possible. And in them saying as minimal as possible, have it written down. Rather look down and don't act clever and want to, oh, sometimes
Flip
I
the
hate
script.
it's
Answer the
stupid. No,
question like Gareth Southgate style.
it's honestly,
Southgate
yeah,
style. Just answer the question. Anyhow, answer the question and move on,
as a
bro.
player,
Why are you trying to be clever?
as a player,
Yeah.
honestly, I'd look at this shit and like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Because he can just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm tendering my resignation, I want to walk. And you don't want that. And this is prior to the window closing. Because whichever manager comes in is like saying, well, I've got you guys, I didn't choose you, so let me just I've got you out on auditioning until the January window opens up.
And
Yeah.
United, and this is what I've been saying. United, unfortunately, has to back Emery because players are going to be auditioning for the rest of their lives. This attitude of sack till you get it right is not going to work. You have to, unfortunately, back Arteta, back Klopp, back Eddie Howe. I said Eddie Howe should have gone 2 seasons ago. Eddie Howe has won us a trophy because I thought we were going to outlive him. Unfortunately, now the way
Mhm.
the world is, we haven't outlived Eddie Howe. We haven't outgrown Eddie Howe. AJ might disagree about where where I think we do potentially need to get like let him go on because I think we are at a point where we need to have the Unai Emerys of this world to say what's the next step? How can you attract players? However, we haven't outgrown him, but he's still there today. You cannot come and tell me after 2 games Ten Hag is a terrible coach. Ten Hag's worked under the pips of this world. He's done well at smaller clubs. He's done well. Unfortunately, you cannot tell me Amarin is. You're looking at October. You're looking at November because at the end of the day, you're going to bring in an interim, and what happens? The interim is not going to be there in May. Then all those players that have auditioned, all those players that have been signed, they start
Back to
again.
square one. Yeah, back to
It's
square one.
it's very
18
easy.
months,
I take your
18,
point.
18
Would you,
months.
as a
That don't
player,
work.
say your manager gives you, gives you the hairdryer treatment one day, would you, as a player, still run through brick walls for your manager if you
Fuck
sit down
that.
and say he's got a 2-year contract and I've got a 5-year contract?
Who's gonna outlast who here?
Who's gonna outlast who here?
Very
and
fair.
if I don't
Very
if I
fair.
don't and if I'm unhappy, I can do what everyone else does with these players, where they free freaking Sancho, free whomever and whatnot, because they know that everyone is gonna get on that bandwagon that free the player. Fuck that.
Mm.
These players have got too much
Freedom
power.
fighter.
I think we can move on because the chats are going on
Yeah.
about these guys here. I think we need to just quickly chat on these motherfuckers here.
Mm.
I'm honestly, and this is maybe I'm the wrong person to speak on this when Liverpool is spending so much money, like quite a bit of coin. If the money is there, fucking go for it. I think everyone is like asking question. Oh, Klopp said this 5 6 years ago. I actually said that.
That's
That was you,
no,
Gumade.
never mind.
Yes, I was stirring up the pot. But anyway, I say Liverpool, stand on this horse. You've got money. You didn't spend money last year. You didn't spend money the year before. So do what you gotta do. But Shivar, over to
Oh,
you. Oh, yep, go for it.
because we myself and AJ lost a great asset today. Um,
Mm.
so
You've got a
thoughts and
song
prayers
for
for
us.
number 14.
We're still mourning.
And
We'll
but
we'll look after him.
I think well done to Liverpool, very good window. Um, we can't now call this Klopp side because everything
Yeah.
last year was like, oh no, this is Jurgen Klopp's side. We understand what has happened with Liverpool in terms of the loss of the forward players needing to remix the squad and refresh the squad.
Mm.
However, for me, the problem is that you have to then win because all we're looking at is that big receipt. I'm looking at the
Mm.
receipt now and I'm saying Isak's got to he he can't be on the bench like injured. We know his injury stats. Isak has to give you 24 goals. Eketike has to give you 20 something goals. Verts has to assist everything. Everything needs to come through Verts. Salah is still got to be the guy. So it's all good and well that Liverpool can stunt on us. The problem with that is that they have to make it to every single final for us to look at them like, yeah, okay, they have arrived because it's literally only two Premier League titles. They need to go on a run of they need another treble. They need another Premier League title. Arsenal needs the same thing because Arsenal went and spent the same amount of money. Arsenal
I
finally got a
know.
striker.
We'll
You
Arsenal
agree
speak
spent
with
about
more
that,
than
them
us,
in
by
a
Shiva?
the
bit.
way.
What's the weight of expectation on Slot this year?
I'm gonna be totally honest. Odds, I agree with you, just not to that degree. I think league,
Yeah.
like you have to win the league. You
Yeah.
you can't start a season and say this season we have to win the Champions League because anything can happen in one
So
game
many
and now you're
variables.
out of the Champions League. It's the same with the two cup games. But the league, you can't losing one game doesn't lose you the league. So you have
Yes.
to go and win the league. And I
Yes.
think that's sort of now minimum
Obviously, yeah.
expectation. It's minimum
Yeah,
expectation. We
obviously.
And I
like we
think
have to.
he's got some credit in the bank as far as Europe is concerned.
Mm,
Liverpool will give him the 2 3 years to find his feet. Okay, this year get to a quarter. Next, I think you got a quarter final last year.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so this
If
year
you
it was
if
a
you if
semi.
you if you if you meet that, or and you Liverpool in fact struggled to come out of the group. If you remember,
We won.
uh,
No, we won. We finished top of the
Yeah,
Champions
beg
League.
your
they were
pardon.
top.
Sorry,
It was
they
Madrid that
they went
struggled and
out. They went
PSG
out
and City.
quarterfinal. So if Slot can hit quarters again or semi, push for the FA Cup, like Shabazz says. I mean, if there's a penalty shootout in this FA Cup semi-final, there's nothing you can do about that. Or you meet the Coventry and Coventry play out their skins and you lose. But it's very
Yeah.
difficult to suddenly lose the Premier League.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. And that's why for me, that's like minimum expectation. If we do not
I
win
can
the
agree
league,
with
then
that.
we've kind of failed, right?
Guys, like
Yeah.
I look at the side, and the only bad thing that I see in this side is with the addition of Isak, it might just take away the balance that this team has. Because in Isak, you've got a proven goal scorer. He scores with his foot. He scores with his head. You've got
Mm.
Frimpong on the one side crossing in. You've got there's a question mark I'm going to ask on this, and this is around creativity because I don't know if you guys watched this boring match over the weekend yesterday where they
I
played
didn't
against
find it
Arsenal.
boring.
I found the first half very boring, and I'll tell
I
you
found
why.
it.
What made
I
it
found
boring?
it
It
funny.
was
was very
Arsenal. It
boring.
was Arsenal that made it boring. But anyway, we'll speak about Arsenal secondly. And I look at this side. You've got Gakpo on the other side. You've got Ekitike up front. The only thing that I see that might be of concern is balance and minutes. Sure, fine. You've got four trophies that you're going full tilt for,
Mm.
and the balance is the one thing that is the unknown. The players
I
that
think
you have right now,
he plays everyone up front. I think he does Isak,
he
Ekatike,
just
and
asked them to
Salah.
interchange.
Yeah, and he just says wherever you find yourself on the pitch, you find yourself on the pitch.
Just
Because
don't go on
we also
Salah's
did the
side.
same thing with
I don't
Isak.
think
We
that
started with
works.
Isak on one side.
I
I
don't
don't think
think
that
that
works.
I
works
think it
because
does.
Slot
Isak has got
Slot
to
is
be the number 9.
Isak has got to be the number 9. Slot is very smart with the way he changes things in games. You don't often notice it, but it's the small things. It's like, okay, Gakpo, don't hug the touchline anymore. Come inside for 10 minutes. Or, okay, it's getting crowded. Go hug the touchline for 5 minutes. See what happens. And I think that's how we'll approach having these 5 attackers. And he had 5 attackers last year as well. He actually had 6 attackers last year. So I think
Mm.
there'll be enough minutes shared between them. I'm not too concerned about that. My concern is against Palace, we look like we didn't gel yet, and I just hope that we can gel in time. We looked a lot better against Arsenal, but I hope now with Isak coming in, we can gel in time to, not lose the league before we have a chance to win it.
Yeah, you should. Well,
But
Man
to
City
answer
have
the
opened
quiz
the
though,
door
it's
for you, so they
VR.
out.
Yeah, they
You,
look
you,
lost for words. But I
you
think Cheese, if Cheese joins us, we'll speak on his side because I think he's got a lot to say. I saw him with a banner that Pep out. But anyway, who am I?
Can we talk
Um,
about that free kick, please?
yeah,
Tell
I
me
about
think
what
what?
you
quickly on
guys
the
thought of
floor.
that free kick.
Quality, top quality.
Meh,
Nah,
That's
man,
that's how you win leagues.
meh.
That's
top
that's
bins,
that's
That's
my guy.
why
exactly how you win
You'd
league.
expect your 120 million pound Cam to be scoring those free kicks, but Guy only completed his first dribble yesterday.
Someone's
doing
very
from a
bitter.
guts.
It's very like,
He's been
I am.
underhanded the whole
I can
episode.
tell
He
from
started
hearing
with what? Started with Gyökeres. Now he's on to Verts.
Mediocre.
Like,
what is
just
an angry
we
man? I didn't
understand
like
you
him.
are in pain. We understand your pain. Now, can we talk about the free
Yeah.
kick again?
Yeah,
Why that free kick was so important was not just the free kick; it was also the build up to that free kick. We were on top of them for a period,
Mm,
and I felt a goal was coming. I didn't
Mm.
know how it was going to come, but I thought it was going to be like one of those silly goals that they would complain about for years to come. But that free kick just what it did was it just took the sails out of them completely, and
Yeah.
it kind of taught them that I don't think my problem with Arsenal is they have done everything like a big club this season
hmm
up
a
until it
very
was
big club.
time for them to go up against a big club. Then they
Yeah,
came to us and they played like Stoke City and they tried to do a smash and grab. They
I think
didn't try to
Arteta
meet us and beat
overthinks
us.
overthinks games, and I gotta agree with you. I didn't think yesterday's game was totally boring. Yes, I did find parts of it irritating, but that's because I felt like Arteta was playing it like a Champions League semi-final. He,
that
he,
he's got a home
He didn't
league.
want
He's
to
got a
lose.
yeah.
yes,
He's
he
got
didn't want to
a
lose. He
And
second
if
didn't
he
want
leg.
to give
smash and
anything
grab the
away.
set play, then he's happy.
It's a,
That's
it's
what
a,
his plan.
it was the wrong attitude for the third game in the season. It was just the wrong. Like he's projecting jeopardy where there isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
If it was the third
just
I like
last
that
game
on
of
point.
the
the free
season, then
kick,
you can do that.
on the
Then
free kick,
yeah,
on the free kick, top quality. I think Arteta went and said that the game was going to be won by either a mistake or by brilliance, and it was the latter. In that, and the way that Salah steps away from the free kick, and I've got Salah as my captain. I was like, fuck, because I didn't see a Salah goal, and I knew I was fucked. But anyway,
do you guys remember the Brazilian
yes.
Juninho Pernambucano play for Leon? That free kick was on that
And he's done
level,
it before. He's done it
and
for his country. If you know, if you, I saw on YouTube, sorry, one of the social, I can't remember where he took it, but he took it on the other side, which then allows us to segue into Arsenal. Raya has been fined out. He doesn't know how to position his wall. There's like question marks around his positioning.
Soboslai actually said that at the end of the game.
So there's a question mark, and he's been found out in that he's like this. I think he's a brilliant keeper, but there's certain attributes of the basics of being a keeper that go away from his
He was
game.
very far
One,
from where the he was found out
because
yesterday.
if you
That's very surprising because Arsenal do a lot of work on set
they
pieces.
do
You would
set
think
pieces
that that's the
on
first
their
thing you get
opponent, they
right.
don't focus on themselves.
Yes. Isn't he standing in the goal when they're shooting?
Who knows? No, because they fouled the keeper. We score with the head from a corner without fouling anyone. But anyway, quick one on Arsenal. I said this last night. Sorry, I was talking with Tato P last night because he's a huge Arsenal fan and he is mad at me because I called his manager a fraud. Um, I struggle with Ateta sometimes in that he acts like he's got big balls, but when it's that time to show that you've got big balls, they shrivel up like freaking pecan nuts if pecan nuts shrivel up. He buys a player from a creative player from fucking Palace, okay? And in a game where they didn't have
A spark.
quality, a spark, he decides to bring this boy on in like freaking there's like what 20 odd minutes and left
I
with
would actually
Odegaard and
argue that
whatnot.
Eze was Arsenal's best player.
I don't I think Noni was and I think everyone that's up in the air. Martinelli, not Brazilian. Revoke that man's Brazilian fucking passport.
Passport.
Not he's not. He's not it. Noni is a simple player in that he does the same thing over and over and he expects different results. In that he was constantly hugging the touch line instead of like that one moment where he decides actually let me cut in and see what happens. He didn't. But I think he was
Mm.
present. But on Eze, I do feel Arsenal had the upper hand in the first 45 minutes, but the game of football is not won in 45 or it's not finished in 45 minutes. I
Mm.
feel second half, first 10 minutes or first 5 minutes, bring on Eze. Because in the middle, Rice wasn't doing shit. What's his
Rice
name?
was
Yep.
getting dominated.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Who's
I
the
loved
other
when
dude?
him, Zubimendi, and Marino, all three of them tried to press Gravenberg, and he just like whoops through the middle of
Right in
them
the
and
middle,
drives
and he
straight.
continued.
It was
And
beautiful.
it was a two defensive side, and unfortunately, it filtered to that new boy striker that they've got, and everyone is like saying that he is trash and whatnot. The man didn't have any
Opportunities.
supply, and there's nothing more frustrating as a striker. You watching the middle is packed with three defensive mids that can't pick a pass. Okay, Rice can when he feels like it, but like there has to be that is a unknown where he's an unknown quantity as a you never know what he's going to do, and that's the magical part of it.
Yeah.
And I feel the striker
Yeah.
deserve that because if you think about it, the goal that he scored that last weekend, he made it himself. He didn't get a supply, didn't get like a brilliant pass and whatnot, and finished it. I feel this is just my view, don't hate me for it. um what's his name, Mateta, is a fraud.
I don't think he's a fraud. I just
I don't
think
know
he's
about
taken
that.
Arsenal as far as he can take them. I don't think he
Thank
has
you.
it in him. Or well, let's not say yet, but he's not a winner yet. Maybe he must go to some small team and win something there, but he's not the man that's going to win you the league. Because of what you said,
Because
when
Mm.
he moved like a
there's
big team,
phases.
Arsenal
No.
moved like a big team, and then when the time came to put their money down, they couldn't.
Because there's phases.
There's nothing about him that feels like a winner. That feels like a
Mm.
champion. It doesn't feel like a guy who's gonna turn a game around when
It's
you're
sometimes it's too
losing 2-0.
gimmicky. Like he's
That's the thing, right? And he's not genuine. I'll give you an example. Arteta says some very, very cheesy things to his players. But when Klopp says things like, "Oh, I think it's impossible, but because it's you, I have a chance," like that's so cheesy. But when he says it, the players are like, "Oh shit, this man believes in us. Let's go and do it."
he's
Arteta
dropping
says the
bars.
same thing,
Mhm.
and they're like, "What the hell is this guy on about?" And it's
Mm.
literally just
Yeah.
Klopp is genuine and Klopp is a winner. Arteta, I don't think he's genuine.
Yeah.
Let's just read this.
It's Michael Scott from The Office,
There we
blah.
go. There we go. I like that.
I
I'm
miss
stealing that
party
It's
in the
one.
Michael
I'm
middle
going to
Scott
part.
from
use
The
that one.
Office.
Uh, we're, we were going to be balanced. Zubi is still adjusting to the pace of the game, especially Okay, we'll see what.
So should I share that image that I tagged you in
I,
the group as well? I think that's
no, I
hilarious.
can't share it. That's what I was saying, man. I tried to
So
share
Zubi,
Oh,
scrap.
so I could maybe agree with that, but I mean Zubimendi has been there for he has had a proper preseason. It's not like he's just arrived.
hmm
Mm.
He's had a proper preseason. Maybe yes, it's adjusting to the Premier League, but he's been there, So we
Mm.
That's what happens when you try to play 8 CDMs and 5 center backs.
that's also
There's
true.
going to be
Yeah.
confusion.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's also
Too
true.
many
And
chefs
I'm
in
not
the
even taking the
kitchen.
piss. Like all three of them are proper out and out
Yeah,
CDMs. But he's trying to
Yeah.
use Rice as a box to box. He's trying to use Zubamendi as a box to box. Then he's trying to use Marino to attack the box.
Yeah.
I don't understand what he's trying to
Mm.
do.
I
And
would have
there's no
sacrificed. I would have
creativity.
sacrificed Marina for Eze. I mean, what you
Yep.
gonna? What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
Nothing.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I take your point, Sisley. Play the double pivot and let Eze play in the 10 and let him
Mm.
cook.
Eze has got
Yeah, I agree
that
with that.
magic dust that was missing yesterday, which made the game so
I'm glad
boring.
no one here is mentioning Odegaard. I'm glad the
Nah,
Odegaard
man.
and Bruno
Odegaard was
debates was
injured. I think he's
between.
coming back from an injury. He's
Yeah, just
irritating in that I don't know why he can't take a shot. I don't know
I
whether
just so sorry. I just want to we cannot leave this episode with not mentioning this. It's all good and well that we chat about the teams that we think are going to do well and all these teams. Unfortunately, I think the league is won by VAR this year. VAR is going to
VR
dictate
has
Yeah,
been
the
terrible.
Yeah.
entire
And
league
like,
because you
yeah, just
cannot
like how I did the
you
same
you
last
you,
season
you
as well.
cannot have for and it's this is not on you, CK. Yes, you're a Chelsea fan, but it's not on you. But you cannot have a decision be looked at and looked at and looked at and then
and
Yeah.
still get it
overturn
wrong.
something legitimate and then get it wrong and then on Monday or Sunday like, oh sorry, we got it wrong. Everyone has
Like
had an opportunity
Yeah.
to look at
this
that.
this has happened
I
every year since
Yeah.
That
almost every year
changes
since VAR
because
has been.
nah, but like
Fulham scores the first goal. Doesn't
Scott
matter if
Parker
Chelsea
also had
will
a
or not.
crash out yesterday, bro, talking about refs and VAR. I don't know if you heard Scott Parker's post match interview.
Mm-mm.
guys,
And
I
Scott Parker basically said he was basically going on about how the game is gone and the emotion has been taken out of it because nobody's actually sure was it a
Mm,
goal. We got to go back 2 minutes before. Was somebody offside? Did somebody kick
and
somebody's
someone
toe? Did the
sneezed.
ball go out?
mm,
And there's an entire inquisition on how a goal has come about. And the point that I'm making is in that Fulham Chelsea game, there was a young boy for Fulham. He's 17 or 18. He scored his very
mm.
first Premier
King.
League goal.
King.
Josh King is
Yeah.
his name or
Mm,
Yeah,
some
King.
or
mm.
Yeah.
he scores his first goal at Stamford Bridge. Now, in the context of the game and in the context of that kid's career, who knows if Fulham would have been fired up and got a second
Mm,
goal and now Chelsea's under pressure? Who knows if that goal for that kid turns him now into the next Wayne
mhm.
Rooney? If Wayne Rooney's goal against Arsenal were disallowed when he was 16, would Wayne Rooney have still become Wayne Rooney?
That's a
I,
very good
I,
question.
That's a coin
maybe I'm
toss.
too.
It's honestly a coin
Yeah,
toss.
maybe I'm too bitter and whatnot. But why tell me that the goal should have stood? Like, don't do that. Don't fucking tell me that, oh, we made a mistake here, the goal should have stood and whatnot, and issue an
Yeah.
apology. Fuck, don't do that. The points are
No, then
gone.
they must replay the games.
The points are gone.
They must replay the game. We must take it. We must restart the game like they do with lightning strikes or games that have been
Because
But
abandoned.
you've
AJ, it
already
can't work like that.
Restart the
I'm
game.
sorry.
Restart the
Yeah,
game
you
from
can't.
that time that you
The,
made
the
the
problem
mistake.
with that, AJ, is this calendar is already packed,
mm,
right? And if you are
mm.
now
There's got to be
apologizing,
repercussions, man. We can't just keep
I know
apologizing.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. There has to be some kind of repercussion, but I don't think that's the solution because then how many games are you going to end up playing this season?
Well,
But
for Liverpool, I
Shavar,
think they're going to repeat all their games.
Yeah, you're also
no,
bitter. It's
but
fine.
And my issue is sorry guys, I just want to say this. My issue is a good game of football doesn't require a referee. You're not supposed to see the ref.
Yes,
You're not even supposed to have
yes,
a ref.
yes.
And now these guys have got mics on and they are totally
Attention
aware
seeking
that there's
fuckers.
a billion people around
Mm.
the world that's watching them. The refs are getting haircuts and making spikes and a low tape of fade
And taking
for the
drugs.
game. Who's this game for, bruh? The ref cannot wait to have a controversial incident, even if he's got to manufacture
Mhm.
it, just so that he's on
Yep.
TV and he's a part of
Yep.
the
And
game.
And the thing that
There is
pissed me
no
off,
place
before he
for a
the
slips
ref
thing
on the
in
that
the
pissed
mic.
me
game.
off, AJ, I saw what's his name? The biggest fraud of all, Howard Webb. He comes out and he says 15 years ago, if we got a decision wrong, everyone would be saying, okay, the ref made a mistake, he's a bad ref. Now, when a ref makes a mistake or they get a decision wrong, everyone is saying, no, we need to look into this, something is not right here, what's going on? And my answer to that is very simple. 15 years ago, if a ref makes a mistake, you can say, okay, fine, maybe he didn't see it. Maybe someone ran in front of him at that time. But
Shake his
now,
time.
for a ref to make a mistake and for VAR to make the same mistake, something is wrong.
Mhm.
Something is wrong.
Shiva, we heard last week. Oh
It's
no,
cheating.
it was a soft hold.
Liverpool, Konate should have been sent off last week.
Yeah, and
Konate should
Every
have been
week,
sent off last
Liverpool
week.
are supposed to have something go against them,
and
but
and, and,
because they have so much of money, they
and
buy these
no, but
VAR
Trushel,
refs week in and week
Liverpool.
out.
so see,
It's a it's
Liverpool.
a
for,
it's
for
a
I also
tragedy
want to make a
what is
comment
happening
here.
to
I
our
want
wait,
to say
wait,
Do
one
you
wait.
thing.
think
football
Dan
club.
Burn
See,
also should have been sent off
and
Dan
you
for
Burn
see,
his
for
the thing
what?
tackle
is,
on
and that
Salah?
that could
Yeah.
Because
that
I think the two
that
fouls
could
were
be
the
fair.
same. So if you say yes to Dan Burn, then I'll say yes to Konate. If you say no to Dan Burn, then I'm saying no to Konate. That's how I see it.
But so we've got
Guys, he had
someone where a
several
referee says,
transgressions,
"Oh no,
bro.
it's a soft hold." He was hugging, he was hugging him. Oh
Like
no, that's a soft
I
hold.
hate that
Throws
bull crap.
Jonathan
You've got
over.
They
Gravenberg
hold
He
him
coming
threw,
in
he
a
in
threw
hold.
Harvey
off his
Barnes
feet.
over.
You've got Gravenberg coming off his feet from behind, where the commentators are saying, luckily he actually turned like in a good angle for his knee. Otherwise, it might have been a season-ending challenge. But you've got VVD saying, "Look, I've got studs on my shin." But yes, but
Studs
just
on his
now
calf.
this place studs
On
on
his
its
calf,
calf.
yeah.
But then you've got
VVD had the evidence. That's the problem there.
maybe, but the
Yeah.
evidence
Live
is 2 feet
evidence.
up.
Undeniable.
At the end
I
of the
think
day, I mean, I was having a conversation with my brother because he didn't watch the Chelsea game, and I was like, "The game's gone." And he's looking at all these statuses and like, "What do you mean?" And I show him the challenge, like, "So you telling me that the Fulham player was in possession of the ball, trying to do a spinner
Yes.
Rooney, passed the ball, and then said that was a foul." 2 days
Yep.
later, a day later, it's like, "Oh no, that actually wasn't a foul." If you're gonna have a team of VAR and a
Sort it out then.
PGMOL team,
Sort it
come
out then.
on, guys.
like so guys,
The thing
my
I'm
that you
so I'm
the,
so
the,
glad.
one last
I'm so
sentence,
glad the Premier League.
quick,
Yeah,
AJ.
go for it.
Shavar just said something now. It's just like when a referee made a mistake, it was a referee making a mistake. When a linesman does this, it's a referee and linesman and they chat like, "What did you see?" Now he's got
Yeah.
support, and the support is now also making the same mistake. It's a team of people
It's because
making
they
a
don't want to
mistake.
make their friends look bad. That's all it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I'm friends with this ref,
Yeah.
so if he's made a mistake,
Game's
I'm
gone.
going to side with him because I don't want him to look bad.
It's
That's
the
what
it's
it
the
is.
Game's gone.
it's the poison blue.
If
You
you're
know,
saying
and
that, that's fair.
I want you to say on VAR and this absolute farce that Fulham can have a goal disallowed under the accusation that it was a reckless challenge. It is impossible to challenge
When you
somebody
have
when you've got the ball. Now, I'm so glad we saw Yaya Toure in the Premier League without VAR because
Yeah,
every one of his
exactly.
goals would have been
Yep.
disallowed.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure gets the ball, pushes you out of the way, and then he carries on.
Like a gazelle.
If Yaya Toure was still here, every week he'd be blown up for some
But
transgression. Reckless endangerment of people. Come on,
yeah,
bro.
and I think Chelsea hasn't benefited from like these weird calls, and I see that everyone now is going back and saying, "Ah, we have." I'm going to be honest. I didn't watch the game live, so I watched the extended highlights, and then I saw the goal. I'd already known the results and whatnot, and I tried to look at play prior to the goal, and
Yeah.
at match speed, I didn't see anything. They then rewind saying that there's a foul. I'm trying to figure out where's the foul. I'm like, okay, cool. Shalaba is down and whatnot. They must have taken him out. Okay. And then I see Shalaba was going for a tackle. And then Holmes stepped on him because he thought it was a hurricane. um, I'll
Spinnerini.
take it. I'm not gonna lie, guys, and I'm not gonna like fucking sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, no." I'm not the bigger person here. Fuck it, I'll take it. It's 3 points that I needed, and
Yeah.
this is at a time where Chelsea were in trouble because Fulham were going. And the thing is,
Yeah.
Marco Silva lost his fucking thingy, and then guess what happens? 45 or what, 48 minutes into the match, we get a corner kick. We're allowed to take it, of which I don't think we should have been allowed to because time was over. Like it was like Shaile time, it's done.
Hmm. No
But
connection.
we're allowed to. Have I lost
No, you're
connection?
good.
Yeah, I have. And then we score from there.
Oh, am I listening?
Have I lost you?
No, I get what you're saying because I mean, obviously you're going to take the points, right? But this is why I want Jose back in the Premier League. Get on those refs' cases. Get someone who's not afraid of them.
I want Jose to take the West Ham job.
I had a theory not that long ago. I thought you guys would outgrow Eddie Howe, and then I thought Jose would be the guy to take over and win you the league because he does have
Yes.
that Newcastle connection. And
Yes.
yeah, guys, it's still
You said it.
Jose.
You
It's
said
still
it.
Jose.
You said it. I remember you said it because we were having an argument around. I said Eddie Howe is not going to. The ambitions of the club are going to outgrow his capability,
Yeah.
meaning that in 18 months he's going to be done for. And I think we are in that 18-month period right now where there's going to be question marks. Unfortunately, you guys can't secure deals early enough, and I don't think you've got enough in the bank
I
to go
think I
right
think
ahead
you can
and
give I think you got to give Eddie one more year. Not
Yeah.
not that not that no. I want to phrase this properly. I'd like to see what Eddie Howe can do now that he's been backed. Because he's shown you what he can do with 10 pieces of wood and Isak. Now he's actually got
Guy,
11
you cannot
players.
call Bruno G a piece of wood. Do you know what? Like, yo, that guy, he played against us. He reminded me of Gerard, where he just, like, nothing happened in that midfield without his
Hot on
permission.
his sleeve. Hot on his
Yes,
Yeah.
sleeve.
and that was his midfield. Nothing happened that entire game without his permission. So you
Right.
can't say he's a piece of wood, and you can't
No, but
say Eddie
No,
hasn't been back because
so
Tonali's
no, no, no.
also a player.
No, I'm making the
so
point that
Shiva, I think I see
he
where
now has 11 players. He now has
Okay,
yeah,
11
I see
players.
yeah.
where you must
I would
where
not
H is coming
count.
from.
I would not
Ben
count
Chilwell is gone. Sorry, guys.
what's happened there.
Ben Chilwell is gone. He's gone Bundesliga. He's gone on a 2-year deal. Now we must get rid of Sterling. Sorry,
But
my
the
team
window's
does
done, isn't it?
business. But yeah, if the deal had already progressed and whatnot, I can't remember the
There's only
technicality around it.
Chelsea. Chelsea's
Yeah,
got
Chelsea.
technical things, bro. You'll see. From tomorrow, they're gonna start selling to Turkey.
Yeah.
Yes,
You never
because
know.
the
Yes.
Turkey's still not closed. So Shiva, I think what AJ is saying is we're now starting to build that team, and I look up and down that team. I was like, okay, there's fresh young blood. We've replaced very well. This is
Yeah.
now the opportunity for Eddie Howe to say, guys, we've won a trophy. We've got that off our back. We're back in Champions League. We have to perform in that Champions League. At a minimum, we need to be in a knockout phase where we're playing someone we're like, okay, cool, you're gonna go and play AC Milan in the knockout phase, you know. And what are we saying there? But by the time we hit January, last week of January in the Champions League, it must be you've done FA Cup, you've maybe gone to a quarterfinal of Carabao Cup to say no, but we're still in it. We're in and amongst the big teams because at the end of the day, Chelsea have cleaned up.
Yeah.
Liverpool was rebought. Arsenal have strengthened. United play one game a week. United are going to be there and thereabouts because they don't have as much football as the rest of the teams.
That
I'm
might
kind of
trip them
feeling that
over. That might trip
there's
them over.
that's also very fair. Thomas Frank is in the building at the moment. They've done very, very good business. So right now, that top eight, you even if you call it a top eight, that top eight is literally you've got to be close. Liverpool cannot run away with it by
Mm.
December. City cannot
I,
run
I,
away with it by
I,
December. We must be looking at it
maybe
like everyone's a point apart.
So,
Yeah.
what would be a
We
good season for Newcastle this season? Because
Mm.
I have a view that you guys might not like, but it comes with a little asterisk. But tell me, you guys, what would be a good
Give
season?
it, because I
My,
mean, at least we can answer it. But give it, because maybe
no,
Okay,
it's a fair,
okay.
it's
so
a fair point.
my view is even if you guys finish sixth and don't get into Champions League, provided that you make it out of the group stages in Champions League and you have a decent cup run, I would stick with Eddie Howe because another season of building upon that, you guys are in a very good position to win the Europa League the season after. And I think that's how you start.
no,
My
no,
view. Hold
no.
on.
We're
My
three
my
weeks
That's
into a
probably fair.
season. This is the season.
yeah.
There's nothing
My
wrong
view
with
on
us.
Eddie
There's
Howe.
nothing wrong with us getting kicked out of the Champions League and entering the Europa and giving the Europa our best shot and trying to win the Europa now.
No, but so now you don't get kicked out of the Champions League
Yeah,
into
we
the
don't
Europa
fall
We
League.
into
Oh,
don't
is
go
it.
that
down.
is that is that
You
is
go
that
Yeah.
gone?
straight
We don't
out.
go
So
down.
that's why I think you guys must qualify. I think you will qualify. But if you don't, when I say qualify, I mean qualify out of the group stage. But if you
Yeah.
don't make the Champions League next season and you still finish strong and get a good Europa League position, I think that's a competition you guys can win.
Yeah,
I
My
because
don't.
view
I
on
Look
don't.
at it
Newcastle
like
I,
is
I
that.
don't
because
think
United have shown it, Chelsea have shown it,
Hmm.
we're not there.
Spurs have shown it.
We're better than that.
You,
If Spurs and Man United are the makeup of a Europa Cup final, we are not those people, bro. Newcastle is
yes, but at the end of the
legitimately a
day,
Champions League team. We've earned our place there.
No, you have.
no.
You
yes,
have.
yeah, we
No,
have,
you
yes.
no, they have. They have. Ngubani, they have. Like I keep telling people, everyone okay, so our biggest defeat last season was against Chelsea, as per the scoreline. But in my opinion, our biggest defeat was that cup final. At no
Cup
point in
final.
that game did I think we were going to win that game. They were just
Yeah.
on top of us. They
Monday
have
night you
earned they
outplayed for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Monday night
So
you didn't
yeah
have a
for the
kick,
my
first 40
bro.
minutes. No, I agreed. Agreed. After what's his name got sent off, you guys played really really well. You just kind of overcommitted and they got
So
hit on the
where
counter.
we're trying to
But you
get
will
to,
learn from that.
and I just wanna say this in closing with reference to Liverpool. Where we are trying to get to now is we need 11 players, like we spoke about hardworking players earlier when the show started. We need 11 hardworking, talented players. So if you look at Liverpool, Cody Gakpo, Soboslai, Gravenberg, these people can change the game for you if Salah's having an off day, if Ekatike hasn't shown up for the day. Each one of your players can make a game changing moment and you can win the game. And that is what's irritating me about Liverpool because you have not played well for 4 games. You have
yep.
not played
And
I thought
well,
I
that's how
thought
you
we
win
played
the
really
league
well against Arsenal. I thought we played well against
but you're
Arsenal.
winning.
in the second half.
You got the points. Newcastle
My
have
view my
not
view on
done too
Newcastle.
badly,
This
but we've got 2 points
yeah.
because
Yeah.
we only have one or two players that can change the game.
I see where your
Bruno
point
for
is. I
sure
see where your
can
point.
change it. Tonali on his day, maybe. But the rest of them are reliant on team chemistry.
Hmm.
We're not reliant on anybody's golden bag of magic. And that's what I'm hoping this Volta Messi can bring. I'm hoping Visick can bring. I'm hoping Ramsey can bring because those
Is
people are
Ramsey
definite upgrades on the Sean Longstaff, on the Callum Wilson, on the Miggy
my, my
That
Almiron.
that
my view
that makes.
on
I see where he's
Newcastle
coming
and
from with that.
yeah, my view on Newcastle in Champions League is for some reason I never get the feeling that this is where you belong when you play Champions League because it goes it's like a yo-yo. One season you in Champions League, the next season you out of Champions League and so it never it feels like it's a treat for your fans whenever you guys qualify for
Yeah,
Champions
yeah.
League. And
Like
I
we're
think
still excited just to be there.
Just to
just to
be
be
there.
present, just to be
Hmm.
in the
Yeah,
room. And I
That
don't
needs
yeah,
to
think you
change.
guys,
That
yeah,
needs to
but
yeah.
change.
have that mentality change where you decide that, hey, listen, Champions League is the bare minimum because Champions League is big money. And I think there's been an argument which is harder to win, Champions League or the league. I think we'll carry that conversation later on.
I think we hashed it out when you say when someone said earlier, it's like one game is one game, but losing a Premier League game doesn't end your season. But
Thank you.
Mm.
when you open a game at Real Madrid, that is like, oh my soul, I'm at the Bernabeu. A lot of those players have not. Some of our players have not been to the Bernabeu. They might look around and say, "Geez, like this this is bigger than me. But going to
Mm,
Anfield and putting up a fight to say these guys are going to come back. So we're going to put on a fight. These guys are going to come back to us because we've
mm,
had very good results against some of the big teams. We've done the 4-4 against City. We've beaten Arsenal. We've done the 3-3 with Liverpool. We've beaten United. We've gone to Spurs and given them
mm,
6. But that's over
I
a
think
period of like this time, this time, this time, this time in those Champions League
let's
moments. And I said this, and the guys disagreed with me. And I think, sorry, this is a quick segue, but it's my last point. I felt as if we needed to do Europa because Europa was always going to be a very, very good run. And all the Newcastle friends that we share the community with said, if we lost, if we were not in the Champions League, we lose Isak. There it is. We have lost Isak.
and you're still
Not
in
in
the
the,
Champions League.
and we're in the Champions League and we've lost
Mm.
Isak. I've been
Getting out
saying
of
that
the
since
group
the
stage in
bar.
the Champions League gives you enough, doesn't give you money, frees up enough PSR for you to go and buy the next Isak, whoever
Thank
that
you.
may
yeah.
be.
I think
Very
I
true.
think any PSR chat as far as Newcastle concerned is being quashed for the next 5 years.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We're
Great. I
spending
think
Coutinho money.
let's
You're
give
spending Coutinho money.
let's give the chat
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes before we close it off. I think first question. Arteta made a mistake putting in a 15-year-old Dawson. Dawson is talented, but he dives a bit too much. I remember the penalty that he got. There was no contact there, and
Preseason,
he
I think,
fauled the
against
ref.
Newcastle, wasn't it?
No, it
Jolinton
wasn't even
kicked
the
him.
preseason. It was the game that the assist that he got now, or considered an assist, where he got a pen. I
Leeds.
can't remember. Was
Leeds.
it against Leeds?
Yeah, I
Yes, it was
remember.
against Leeds. I don't think he. By then it was too late. And if you look at the bench, what was left in the bench for him
Here's
to
my
do?
question. Here's my
Mhm.
question. Why put on 15-year-old Dawson, who you are still not 100% on, instead of 18-year-old Nwaneri, who has proved that he can do it?
I have no idea there. Yeah, I think
I
maybe the
mean,
way he trains during the week, the manager Ateta is a fraud, guys. I've said it.
Something's
Yeah,
going on
something is
there.
up. Here's another one. Slot just needs to get the team to gel, and we're good. I think
Yeah,
it's what you
that's
spoke
what we
on
need
that.
to do. That's my concern.
the
And
slot machine.
The
the
slot
slot machine.
machine.
Mm. But
Well, I
with
can't
that,
remember which.
there's
There's
comes
a
pressure.
sorry. There's a former player who made a comment about Arsenal that they're the most boring team and they just wait for set pieces. Stoke
Peter
FC
Schmeichel.
was
Schmeichel.
Schmeichel. Yeah, yeah.
Schmeichel wanting Liverpool to win a game tells you everything you need to know, guys.
Yeah, but free kick was great. I was like scored similar for his national. Yes, I wasn't surprised. We got breached the middle. Zubi was yeah. He Zubi looks lost. The verdict's still out. Maybe he's just catching up with how quick the game is because he's coming
Yeah.
from Spanish side. Sorry, from the Spanish league, and the Spanish league is more technical and it's a bit slower. Unfortunately, the EPL is a bit it's a different beast. Tactically,
Sorry
Martinelli
to
can cover.
sorry, Ngubane.
Yeah,
Looks like where he stays at Palace.
beautiful.
Ooh,
The
that's
manager had threatened them that if he leaves, I'm out.
Hmm.
Because they can't.
okay.
There was some
Let's be
afters
honest,
there.
guys. In the last three
Why didn't
seasons.
Eddie Howe call a bluff? Why didn't Eddie Howe call a bluff and
Sorry,
tell
sorry,
the
guys.
owners, if you sell
Olesi,
Isak, might as well tell me to go because I'm
yeah,
not building
Olesi.
this team for
They
nothing.
sold him the
Because
season before.
Newcastle can go and hire
AJ,
Jose.
AJ,
Palace
this
can't
this
go and
this
hire
is
Jose.
bigger. This is the name on the front is bigger than the name on the back, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And this is how I felt about coming into the pod. And I just saw something on the and I want to also maybe it can be a discussion that we have on the side or we like we kind of build to that. I've got a friend of mine who also has a platform and he when he talks about United he said you know what your first divorce maybe that was or it
Mm.
wasn't you. Your second divorce, oh, maybe it also wasn't you. But now when we get to 3, 4, and 5, now we got to start looking at you. You
Yeah.
cannot tell me that United have lost three former United managers have lost their
And they all
jobs
get fired
now
in the same week, bruh.
or get fired in the same week. But the thing is, we are still looking at United and saying there's a problem there. It's
Yeah.
not even with the coaches anymore. There's such a big fundamental problem. And one of you guys said they haven't fixed so many things. The poor tea lady's out of a job, but United are still the same bloody United. They have to play one game a week,
Maybe they're not having
and
that
they must.
ZCCT. That's why they're losing. But my view on Palace is this: Olisi gone, Eze gone. Now the captain is going to be gone. You setting the manager up for failure. So the manager's got
I
every
think they've
right to
set him
say,
up
and
for failure anyway.
he's
Because
won them a cup.
if Guehi stays, all that's going to happen is he's going to go in January, right?
But
And he's
by
going to
then
go
they
in
would have
January for
survived.
not 35, not for 35 mil. He's going to go for much less in January. And
Well,
even if he
they must
doesn't go
then
in
decide.
January, he goes at the end of the
You
season
said
for free.
70, and he was too
We
good for us.
offered
We
him
said
70
70.
million last year.
Yeah,
70
exactly.
million.
So
Exactly.
the
Eventually,
decision was
Parrish is going
already
to be
made
like,
then from last
dude,
year. They must now live with it.
yeah, Parrish is going to
Adrian,
say,
I think
dude,
we go back
you're a good
in.
coach, but
We
you're
go back in
literally
episode
costing me
2020.
money. So you've got to go. And I think that's how this ends.
I felt
Osuna
that
deal falling
if the
through.
captain leaves, they will be up for
Like,
relegation. Brilliant as a manager
Yeah,
is,
Osuna deal falls through.
oh
So if we
man.
get to
Yeah.
keep Osuna, which is a good thing,
No, why do I
that's a
have the
very good thing.
feeling? Why do I have the feeling we were working on something that fell through,
because remember
and then
these
we told
yeah.
we were gonna sell Osula, and now they've cancelled it.
It's fine. We're gonna
Maybe.
need the backup. Osuna needs to be
I saw
playing.
Fermin Lopez rumors this morning to come to Newcastle,
Oh, but yeah,
and
but even
Hansi
for
Flick
Fraser, it hasn't
blocked it.
happened.
Hansi Flick blocked
Yeah,
it.
certain deals haven't happened, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with deals falling through. Osuna
Yeah,
is 22 years old. You keep a 22-year-old striker.
yeah. I know you
We
didn't
say
want
he's
to sell him,
29
eh?
on Wednesday.
I know you didn't want to sell him.
I think,
Yeah.
guys, we can call it because I think this requires an episode midweek where
It
we'll
requires a
discuss all
second
the
show of the
deals,
week.
all the deals that went through and what it means. Because it's all fair and game to get these players over the line. Integrating them into the side is a totally different, and getting them to be the team balance and because these last minute deals, these Daniel Levy deals, they can mess you up big time. They can trip you
Yeah.
over. But we'll talk.
Can
We'll
we do a
Last,
start.
roundup
last,
of everybody's favorite transfer before we end?
It's Liverpool. Come on.
favorite transfer.
My favorite
Um,
transfer is
I,
the one that didn't happen. Gibbs White to Spurs. And Marinatos was like, yay, bruh.
He pulled the
It was
gun
but
out
home,
for him.
but home was he was gangster. I
my,
Yay,
think
bruh.
White was on his way
before I go to
to
my favorite
Newcastle
transfer,
on the train.
Shiva, your manager's going to have a lot of work to do to gel, and I've said what I think my front three needs to be at all times. CK, you guys have a manager that said these guys are not playing Premier League for me, and then he's cleared up the shop and he said, listen, these are the people that need to go. So it's good you guys have come down from 45 players to 35 players. Hopefully in the next 2 years you'll be at 25 players.
No, we don't do that.
Favorite
We need depth.
transfer, I think Eze was
Yeah.
the one. I think it was what
Yeah.
Arsenal needed. And it was also very silent. It just happened. And
Yeah.
I think he flourishes at Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Ekatik as
transfer.
a top player,
My
Shiva, you're gonna enjoy
transfer
him.
my
You're
my
gonna love
I think
transfer
so. Yeah,
Ekatik.
you're
is
right.
João Pedro.
Mhm.
He's dynamic and he's an
Yeah.
upgrade
And he's
from where
proving
we
it.
come from. Yeah, and he's delivering. I saw what he did this past weekend, where the ask was for him to fall a bit back, and he felt, and you can't even tell that this man has fallen back.
Mm.
And his defense, he's celebrating a goal line clearance like it's freaking April. Meanwhile, we like
Yeah.
game week 3. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
don't. On that question, sorry, on that, who's the best? I think there's another question that should be asked on a player that has a question mark around them, be it the price, be it the player or the team that he's walking into.
Mm.
My favorite transfer, I didn't get to say it yet, is Wirtz, because he had Bayern in for him and he met with Bayern. He had City in for him and he met with City, and he still chose Liverpool.
Yeah.
For me, that says a lot, and he's my favorite transfer.
Well,
My
the
question
Question?
mark
115,
transfer.
the 115 still doesn't
Yes, I
feel
want to hear
right.
your question mark.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, I want
question
to hear
mark
your question mark.
is,
Voltamada. It's got to be Voltamada,
yeah,
bro.
actually, you're right. No matter what
It's
I say now, that's the
I,
answer. That's the, because nobody knows. It's a literal
no,
question mark.
for 80
My
million.
question mark is Wirtz. My question mark
Yes.
is Wirtz.
No,
I'm with
bro.
odds on that. I'm with odds on this one. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
was actually
tell
gonna
you,
say
I
bro.
had him.
if it wasn't Voldemort, I was gonna say Guehi, this transfer that hasn't gone through, because I think that would have really it would have given us a leader at the back if Van Dijk wasn't there. And now that that hasn't gone through, I
Yeah.
don't want Van Dijk at this age to be playing every single game.
60
Like I
games a
60
really
season.
don't.
games.
Yeah.
I don't want him to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
He's
that's
gonna have
yeah.
60 games a season. And 60
Vits
games
for
is
me.
minus 2 finals. Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
Vits for
60
me
games.
is the question mark, guys. I'm just gonna put it out there. I had him. I've watched him for 3 games, and
No, bro.
question mark.
Wirtz is a baller, bro. And he's got a
He
body of
is.
work. Wirtz has got a body of work.
Nah,
Walter
but yeah,
Messi,
body
is,
of work,
we
body of
don't
work.
know
When you're
this guy,
coming,
bro.
no. I'll take your word for it. Body of work or not,
And the
he's
thing
got.
is, football is not played on YouTube, unfortunately. He's been backed. Bayern were after him. He was top goal scorer. I know 21 euros. He's 6'6", same height as Isak. There's someone
Yeah.
there, but he also cannot have that pressure. I think Wisa has to start, and then you literally bring in Walter Messi after the fact. Walter
Yeah.
Messi must get 30 minutes a game, and then when we play Brentford City or Bristol City, whatever it is in the Carabao Cup, you start Walter Messi. And then you
Yeah.
have Osula, who's still
No.
here. You say, I'm backing you too. You have a 23-year-old striker who's 6'6", and you have a 22-year-old striker who's also 6 foot something. Back the
Yeah,
youngsters. That's the
Mm,
next gen.
I
mm.
understand inflation is a thing, guys, but yo, we don't value money
Oh no,
these
no,
days.
inflation
80
is a
bar,
terrible thing.
80 bar for the dank. Anyway, let's call it. Gents, it's been nice venting through the guys on online. Much appreciated. We forgot to hit like, comment, and subscribe, all of those things.
All of that
But
stuff.
anyway,
Yes.
we'll catch up
So
during
now
the
what are we
week,
gonna what
gents.
are we gonna
It's
do
been
for the
good.
bloody the
The,
what's it, the international break? Are we just gonna
We'll
the
be
window.
discuss
We'll do the window. We'll discuss
international.
the window, and then I think there's a question mark that we have that is going to be carried. Stick around
Yeah.
for the next episode where we will answer this here question. Guys, it's been
Lovely.
good. Take it easy.
Thanks,
thank you.
chaps.
Goodbye from
Go.